Yeah, so I'm going to hit the record button. Hopefully this will work. This is, in reality, this is session 3 of the coaching program. Now, I've been doing one-on-one coaching training with Carrie Bradford and Mary Ellen, and we did some of the basic instructions. And I'm going to point you guys to that stuff later after this call. But today is going to be post first training. So it's going to be the first level of training, so people really understand what we're doing with the coach training, what it is and what it isn't, because it's coaching can be so many different things, and we can go really deep with life coaching and addiction counseling and marriage counseling, and coaching can be a lot of things to a lot of different people. So I want to talk to you guys about the 2 different programs that we're going to offer for the coaching program and show you how you can be involved and you can become a certified coach for Dream Life. So let me give an attempt to share my screen here. I'm going to switch over to this one and share this little screen. You guys see that okay?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So coaching, like I said, can be a lot of different things. It's education, it's motivation, it's support, it's sharing your knowledge. But mainly for our program, we're going to call it Dream Life Coaching, which means you're initially going to be certified, or you're going to be trained on how to help someone find and fulfill their dreams and visions. You're going to be a Dream Life Coach. And that's completely different than anything else out there. We're not business coaching. We're not family counseling. We're just Dream Life Coaching. And so we're going to get you to an expert status where you can help guide someone through the process of knowing the basic principles of success, give them some basic guidance on, some of the dis in their life, some of the things that could be a possible distraction or a discouragement, those mindset things, and then help them with the practical application. And then be that kind of person that's with them, to mentor them, to push them, and to promote them, kind of provoke radical change in a person's life and give them the tools necessary with the Dream Planner, really work through it. So at the end of certification, you're not going to be a psychiatrist or a psychologist. You're not going to be able to give anybody drugs. Hopefully you're not giving any drugs. You're going to be able to go through the certification program and say, look, I'm a Dream Life Coach. I can help you use these tools to achieve your level of success. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. Now, for you guys, for the people who actually become coaches, it's going to go a little bit deeper. Like we've talked about in early session 1, in case you haven't already noticed, I actually recommend a book for you guys. The book is, what's the name of that book, guys?
Love is a Choice.
Love is a Choice. That's the one. Love is a Choice is the book that I recommend to get you guys started. And a lot of it has to do with helping you as a coach to get unlayered, to help you not be doing this coaching from a codependent or a layered perspective. It's also going to help you to stay away from unhealthy relationships as you start to coach. It's real easy for people to start looking to you if they have a hole or a weakness in their life. They start looking to you as their crutch. They start trying to find some way to use their codependency and actually start manipulating you or have an unhealthy relationship with you. And so it's very important in a mentor relationship, as what you're going to be entering into with these people. It's very important that you recognize codependency and you stay away from it, because it's not good for them and it's not good for you. And so I highly recommend, actually I require you guys to understand the principles that we're going to find in that book for me to certify you as a coach. Now, it should only take about 2 to 3 months to go through the training and the one-on-one coaching and counseling that I'm going to do with you guys to get you to a place of certification, because it's not a 6-month training course. We don't need to get into deep side of the pool stuff. So there are some people that I'm not sure how to do this, but there's some people knowing straight off on the front that I am not going to want to certify them as a coach. I mean, they're just in the realm of cray-cray. They just, they're all over the place. They can't have a simple conversation without getting crazy. They have an agenda that, it might even be a good agenda. They might be Moses from the mountaintop and they've seen God from the other side, but they can't stop talking about it. I mean, it's okay. But that's what you should be doing. You should be preaching your gospel. You shouldn't be so consumed with whatever version of your story that you just can't stay on track. And if you're that kind of person, I'm probably going to bounce someone from the program and just say, look, you're really not the right person for the program. And I'm not sure how to work through that. Fortunately, there's no one who said they want to be a coach yet who is one of those personalities. But we do have 2 people in the top 100 who are. I'm not going to name any names. You guys all know them. So here's what we want to do. We want to help you guys go through the process. And like I said, there's going to be 3 different levels of training. The training that I'm going to give to everybody, which is right now like the generic training, the information, the instructional stuff, is all right here. So we go from saying, okay, I want to be a coach. I want to start learning how to be a coach. And we're going to do what we call the classroom setting, where everybody gets in the classroom. We all learn together. We all have you take what you want or what you don't want. Somebody's making a little bit of noise back there. So if you're that person, could you mute yourself a little bit? If you have like a lawnmower going on in your living room, whatever that noise is. So let me change my settings here. See if I can see more people. I guess I can't. I'm just working out this new tool here. All right, so there's the open training, which is available to everybody. If you're part of the program and you're at any level, $25 or above, or if you're a top person, you're going to get all the training for free. And then we're going to actually go to the next level. For you to actually be certified, you're going to need to talk to me. You and I need to have conversations. I need to make sure that you understand certain things. I need to make sure you understand the rules and the roles, what you can do and what you can't do. And I need to have a verbal conversation with you. I just can't put this out on the video. I need to talk to you and make sure you understand and see where your strengths are and see where your weaknesses are and just help you be able to communicate now. Now, for this level of certification and coaching from my side, this is an ambassador level program. The person has to be a $99 level or above to get the one-on-one coaching. And if you are an ambassador, then you need to be making an appointment with me at least once a week. You can do it, you can do it longer and stretch it out. It's going to take at least 6 personal sessions where all we do is talk about coaching. You and I are just going to be talking about the coaching side of things, how to build your network, how to monetize the coaching program, how it's going to fit best for you, what you can and can't do. All that stuff is on a one-on-one relationship basis. That's only for the ambassadors. And then that will lead you eventually to a certified coaching professional. And like I said, it shouldn't take more than 90 days. So 3 months worth of coaching training where we talk 2 to 4 times a month, plus all the training that we're going to do. You should be able to put a stamp on your website or a stamp on your profile or your blog or whatever saying I'm a certified dream coach. And then you and I can tag team some relationships and build that kind of stuff. So that's the initial story. So everyone can learn how to coach, but not everyone's going to become a certified coach. And that's okay. You just pick the path that's best for you. Now, as you start to move people along this path, of course, if you get people who want to be dream coaches and they come into the $99 level, that's another income stream for you. You're going to make money off of every person that you bring over to the coaching program. So as they're paying $99 a month, you're making a $50 bonus. That's all the downline residual stuff that they're going to do. So it's a nice little way for you to introduce a monetization of your company or your brand without you selling the business opportunity. Right? You're actually selling an opportunity for $99. They become a coach. You're not actually selling the monetization of it, or you're not selling the affiliate marketing program. You're just selling coaching, helping people become successful. All right. So I hope that makes sense. I want to move over to, let me see if I can move back to not sharing my screen. I'm not sure. Again, how do I do this? Hey, look at that. It worked. Louis just pushed that little red button up there.
Yes.
All right. So here's some of the things I want to talk to you guys about. I'm going to give you notes at the end of each one of these sessions. We're going to have, like we do with everyone, we're going to have a video 1, video 2, video 3, and then we're going to have all of the Google Docs and have the notes of everything that I talked about, so that you can take notes while we're on the phone, but I'm also going to have headline notes for you guys afterwards, so you can go over it and make sure you have something to train other people with. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is life coaching is about the book and the planner. It's teaching them the basic principles, the mindset stuff. I want to talk to you about codependency, because it's the first thing you're going to run across. As you start to coach people, they are going to have an expectation. You don't know what that expectation is. You can't. As they start to say, well, you can actually tell there's a couple personalities that you got to watch out. There's some echo going on. Who's echoing? Let me see if I can use audio. How about that? Hey, that was the one. All right, no more echo. So here's a certain couple different personalities. The first personality that you have to watch out for is the "it's not my fault." And they start off with telling you a story about how hard their life is, and it's going to be their dad or their mom or their boss or their wife or their husband. And it's just going to be the poor old me story, and everything's going to be about that. The very first thing you need to help that person do is to shut up. They need to stop talking. Because if they're going to be coached by you, they're going to be coached, they're not going to learn anything by talking. If they want somebody to talk to, that's a different program. We'll give them a speaker's training and they can do all the talking. In the coaching session, you need to do whatever you can based on your personality type. And I'll help you with your personality type on how to do this. But the very first thing that you need to do as a teacher, as a mentor, is to help your student shut up. And of course, you're going to say it, you're going to use a nicer word than shut up. But you're going to have to navigate. If they're a codependent person and it's all about somebody else and it's poor old me and they suffer, you're going to have to ask them some very key questions. And key question number one is, do you want me to help you? And that's a very important question. Do you want me to help? When they get done talking, they're paying you. Hopefully it's on an hourly basis. And that first hour, you're gonna be paid well for listening to them jabber. So, but at near the end of it, you're actually going to have to ask them the question, do you want me to help you? And you have to wait for the pause. And they say, yes, I want you to help me. Say, okay, I'm going to need something from you. I'm going to need you for you to stop doing that. Don't tell them what that is. This is a magical part of the negotiation of mentorship. Tell them you need to stop doing that. And they're going to think for a second. They're like, well, we're doing what? Say, you're going to have to stop telling me about your problems. Because I'm not a counselor, I'm a coach. And if we ever move into counseling, if we get into marriage relationships, we get into talking about your family, we get to talking about, I can possibly help you with that, but that's not my relationship with you here. I need for you to stop telling me about your problems. We need to stay focused on the thing. Now, some people aren't going to be able to do it. Some people are going to continue. You fire some of your customers. Fire your customers. Say, I'm sorry, I'm too busy right now. I'm a little overloaded, and I'm going to have to refer you to somebody else, or maybe get back with me in a couple months. You're going to have to figure out a really nice way based on your personality type to fire your customers. You're going to have to say, I'm sorry, this is not a good fit for us, or whatever, however you want to do it. And again, I'll talk to you guys about that more, the negotiation of the sale and the negotiation of the fire, how to hire people, how to fire people. And it's the same way with your coaching clients. You're going to have to learn how to get rid of people. Now, you're going to find this all the way along the path. There are certain people that aren't going to do the homework, and this is going to be hack number 2. Hack number 2 is every single time you talk to a person, leave them with some homework to do. Now, this is going to really, really help you in the relationship with them, because if they don't do the homework, then you know that it's a codependent relationship. They're just sitting back and waiting for you to fix them, waiting for you to help them, waiting for you to comfort them, waiting for you to give them a hug. They need to start initially, even if the homework is dumb, and we're not going to give them dumb homework, but even if it was dumb, it's the fact that you are changing the role relationship based on, I'm going to give you a task, and you're going to spend your valuable time doing what I just asked you to do. Because as it moves forward into the dream planner, if they don't follow the steps, they're going to say, it doesn't work, I want my money back. And it's nothing about the planner. It's nothing about the book or the principles. They developed a habit of not doing something and complaining that diet program or that exercise machine doesn't work, because they're not doing the work. So you have to develop a relationship almost immediately on, here's homework day number 1. And what I always give everyone to do is the book. Go read the codependency book. Get back with me when you get done with it. Most people get back with me before they get done with it. They tell me, oh, chapter 4, that was me. There's that. They start getting back with you right away. If you get into session number 2 and they haven't done the homework, then all you do is you talk about the homework. Waste their time, because they're wasting yours. Talk about the homework. This is what I need you to do. And then send them a video, send them back to the homework. And then you don't start talking to them until they do. Now, I know that some of you guys are codependent, and you're going to have the need to actually have a relationship with them and start jabbering with them too, and making it feel like, you're going to validate yourself by your coaching relationship with them. I need you to help yourself by helping them by not doing that. Don't move into step number 2. I always tell it in marriage counseling, you teach people how to treat you. And one of the things you need to do as a coach is to maintain your role relationship as a coach. You're not a doormat. You're not a kicking boy. You're not a task manager. You're not anything but a coach. And the coach is just giving them instructions and homework on what to do next. What's really weird, I used to coach people in mathematics, and I did a lot of homeschooling stuff. And a lot of times when a person would come to me, I had one guy who was second year trigonometry, and he says, I need help with my math homework. Do you know anybody who can do trig? I said, well, I can do trig. He goes, so you took second year trig? I said, no, but I can do trig. He says, well, how can you do trig? I said, well, there's this magical thing called a book. And if you'll turn to chapter 1 of the trigonometry, I'll read to you what it says on chapter 1, and you and I will do trig together. And so that's what we would end up doing. I opened up the page, and I said, well, this is what it says. Does that make sense to you? He goes, no, it doesn't make sense. So I read it to him again. And he goes, I just don't get it. So I read it to him again. I said, how about now? Oh, I see what it's saying. He says, how did you learn trig? I said, I didn't learn trig. I just read your book to you. When you get someone to take the simplicity of the program, because if you saw Carrie and Sarah's training that they did with the little steps, this is the simplest stuff in the world. Your job is to keep them focused on simple until they're like, oh, wow, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And it is when it's that simple little thing, when it's that simple little trick. So that's the first step, is make sure you watch the little triggers for codependency. I'm going to get into a lot of the different personality types later and talk to you about the different people to work out for, but that first guy is the most common. All they want to do is gripe about their person. Help them be quiet and stay focused on the task, which is learn a dream planner, start dreaming together. Since we're talking about that person, here's one of the key triggers for that person. They're going to come back and say, well, I can't because. Well, I can't do this because my husband, because my wife, because my kids, because my finances, you need to let people know that they are in 100% control of their destiny, that it's not someone else. It's not something else. You can be black, and it's not because of black that you're poor. I understand there's racism in the world. It's not your skin color that's keeping you back, because I got tons of black friends that are doctors, that are speakers, that are authors, that are making lots of money. If they can, so can you. Stop using the excuse of your skin color. Well, I'm a woman. Well, I understand it's a little harder for a woman to do certain things than it is for men, but I know women who are making $2 million a year. So if they can, so can you. You have to stop using excuses and help them do the same thing. That excuse person just has a habit of, instead of work, they make up excuses. Excuses are always easier than lifting weights. So help that person regularly. So that's one of your triggers that you need to watch for. The most important skill that you can learn is called point, guide, and direct. It's the same with network marketing. It's the same with anything else. You are going to ask them questions and then point them to the chapter or to the book or to the page or to the book that answers their question. Here's one of the big problems that we have in our culture. Because America is a Judeo-Christian foundation, that a lot of the stuff that we've done and a lot of the culture, everything is built on the foundation of religious ideal. And that culture is then emanated through the education system, then through the political system, and through the family system. And we actually have a dysfunctional religious system. And the dysfunctional religious system says, if you come to me and listen to what I have to say about the Bible, then you'll be a spiritual person. And if you hand your kids over to my Bible students, your Bible class, then your children will be spiritual. And so what we've done is we've abdicated our responsibility, and we've put a person, a man, or a position, or a process in place to train people on how to do stuff. Now, that means everybody in every culture is waiting for the president to fix their problems. They're waiting for the pastor to help them. They're waiting for the counselor to give them the right amount of drugs. That we have put people or power in a position of fixing us. And what you need to do is reverse that by giving them back to themselves. Say the answers are in the books. The answers are in you putting in the work. The answers in you controlling your destiny. That's why you guys always see, I'm not trying to convert anybody to anything. If you've ever been to my events, no one's trying to be a disciple of Bill. I'm trying to get you to be a disciple of you. I want to hear your voice. I want you to be in control. I want you to believe what you believe for the reasons that you believe it, but I want you to turn your brain on and do it. So point, guiding, and directing is very, very important in helping people grow up into their own destiny. Otherwise, they're just going to echo your destiny, and they're going to be miserable. Nobody wants to be a clone of Bill. My life works for me. I picked my life, and I'm living it exactly the way I want to, and I'm happy doing it. But none of you guys would be happy in my life. You don't like fishing every day and all the other things. It's just not your life. So the principles, point, guide, and direct. Be really good at knowing what chapter is the chapter that fixes that problem. Know if they start talking to you and they have dis, we're going to have a really long discussion about dis, all the different dissuaded, discouraged, diseased, all the dis scenarios. Where do you find solutions for the person? Make sure that all of your solutions do not include you. You are not the solution. Bill Ebert is not anybody's solution. The principles that I've learned, I will hand them to you. And if those principles will work for you, then you and the solutions are the solution, not me. I do not need a bunch of people coming over to my house with their problems telling me, relying on me. Oh, Pastor Bill. That whole thing. I'm not your spiritual guru. I'm not your best friend, even though some of you I am. No, that's not the reason that I'm building relationships, is to have a bunch of people rely on me. So Point, Guide, and Direct, super powerful tool. Now, we're going to talk about the difference between Point, Guide, and Direct and building your own brand, because you actually do want to build a brand. But there's a big difference in building a brand that people do rely on you and start paying you and start resourcing you. That's a completely different mindset. But right now, we're just going to talk about you understand the codependency of everybody's trying to make them the deal. They're trying to make their words and their wisdom and their experience the deal. Don't do that. Second thing, one of the most powerful principles that you can do in our coaching program is what I call the question, push, and back up. And we talked about this in LA. I did a little session on question, push, and back up, but I'm going to have to talk about it anyway in this session, in this environment. Question, push, and back up is a scenario that we do as coaches. As a coach, we question them and we say, what do you want to do with your life? Where do you want to go? What do you want to be when you grow up? And they say, well, I'd like to write a book. How many people you want to read your book? How much money do you want to make? And so you get a definition. You help get a definition of where they want to be. You then push them beyond their current belief system. Because if someone says, well, I'd like to try out for the Olympics, well, why don't we push you to become a gold medalist at the Olympics? That's what a coach does. A coach says, no, I see more than that in you. You're seeing it from the incremental change, that little mindset that causes you to think tiny. You as a coach, it's your job to push them to their edge. How much can a person make? How much can a person do? How much can they write? How much can they achieve? Someone says, well, I'd really like to, start lifting weights. Well, how much you want to lift? I would like to be good at, 150 pounds. I think you can lift 500. I think you can be at bench press 500 pounds. I think you can do that. Let's shoot for, and what happens is their mindset gets them there much faster. They'll get to the 150 almost overnight, the thing that they thought was going to take them 6 months. They get there much faster because now you set the goal way out. You set the goal out to the impossible. Let them decide where the possibility is, but it's your job to push them past the possibility. So it's the first is the question. You ask them what they want to do, and you as their friend and as their coach, you say, well, why don't you consider, instead of speaking once a month, why don't you consider, because I think you're pretty talented, I think you could do this as a profession. Why not have 500 people in a room every year and make a living? Why wouldn't you consider doing that? Push them. Then let them push back. What's nice about it is you push them to 10, they pull you back to 8, but it's at least 4 steps higher than what they would have done without you. So it's the push. Then you back up and you let them settle in at their goal. It's not about you anymore. Even if you think they should still be pushing for a 10, and they said, no. Okay, I see that 4 is not good enough. I will shoot for an 8. It's your turn to back up and give them some time to start working on that goal. And you'll realize that when they give birth to the 8 and they actually start achieving it, now you can go back and push again. So you remember I said I thought you could be a 10. You thought you could be a 4. Now you're an 8. Now I still think you could be a 10. You push again. They say, okay, maybe a 9, and then you back up again. It's your job to push, provoke them in a positive way. And it's not in, don't be a slacker, you stinking loser, why are your goals so small? It's not that kind of push. It's, I see greatness in you that you don't see. I see the potential for you to change the world. And I'm not sure why you don't see that yet, but it's my job to push you. Why don't you consider this? People love that kind of push. That's the kind of coaching that's not provocative. It's promotional. You're promoting them to themselves. Resell them back to themselves. Of course, you don't want to take someone who's atrociously ugly and tell them they need to enter into a modeling contest. I mean, don't push people beyond what you actually see them doing. Don't be ridiculous in your provoking. Provoke them to their possibility, but don't provoke them into the ridiculous, because then they're just going to be set up for failure. You know, it's like all those people that show up on American Idol. Who told them they could sing? Get off. I mean, just, they set themselves up for disaster. They come singing worse than me. If you can sing worse than me, you got some wrong people in your life. And you showing up on American Idol and you sing worse than Bill. I sing so bad. If I sing in the shower, the water goes in the opposite direction. I don't even get wet. It's really, really bad. And there's people on American Idol that were told, hey, you're great. You should try out for American Idol. That's terrible. Never do that to people. All right. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is influence, promotion, and balanced advice. And then we're going to end our session. And hopefully this thing got recorded because it's my first time using this tool. Influence. One of the things that's really important about your coaching program is the reason you're doing this is you want to change people's lives. You want to influence people's lives. And so it's really important in your definition of what does that look like? When I start coaching people, to what degree do I want to coach them? And it's really important to know that going in, because when someone has a need, it's going to be an automatic response for us EQ people to want to meet that need. And you need to decide, no, this is the line. I don't go over this line. Now, we're going to talk about the rules. There's things that I expect you guys to never do. There are certain things in the rules of what you're going to coach and what you're not going to coach. As a certified dream coach for Bill, you cannot do certain things. But you also need to have some for yourself. Even if they come to you as a brand and it's not about the coach, you need to decide, okay, marriage is not my thing. Child training is not my thing. You need to decide where you're going to draw the line and where you're not. And tell them, this is just not my thing. I can't help you with this. I can point you to some good people. And they'll respect you so much more when you say, I don't know, and you point them to the right resource. So decide where and what influence you want to have on people. You need to spend some time. This is your homework for your session. This is session number 1 homework for you. In addition to the book, you need to get a piece of paper and you need to write down the major areas of influence. What areas of influence do you want to help with people? Do you want to help them become public speakers? Do you want to help them become writers? Do you want to just generically help them with their income? Do you want them to get rid of this in their life? Do you want them to change their mindsets? What's the areas that you want to help people? And then make a list of the areas that you're definitely not going to help people in. You know, marriage is one of those things that you either really good at it and you know how to do it, or you probably shouldn't be talking to people about marriage. Just because you have opinions doesn't mean you should be talking. So figure out where you want to help and where you don't want to help. Now, Diane, for example, is amazing at addiction recovery. She's got a tremendous amount of experience. She's got a tremendous amount of background. She's coached and helped people in that area. So for a lot of you guys, addiction would be something you don't want to mess with. For other people, it's like, well, this is the reason I actually want to coach people on the dream life so that I can find more people to coach on the addiction stuff, because that's my strong arm. And so know that about yourself. Where do you want to coach them? Now, if it's an area that you want to coach them in and you don't have the skill yet, talk to me about it and I'll help you get that skill. Look at that. I got your free meeting will end in 10 minutes. Great little notification. All right. So figure out where you're going to coach and where you're not going to coach, where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, and figure out where you want to grow in. Like, I would like to coach in this area, this area, this area, but I don't know how to do that yet. And talk to me about it. That's part of our coaching. That's part of our coaching session. And I'm going to do the same thing with you. If it's something that I'm not an expert in, I don't really know, I bet I know where to get the information for you and how to get you up to that level in that arena. There's also things that you might be expert in you don't want to do anymore. Like, I don't want to help people. I don't know if I should say this publicly. I don't want to help people with their network marketing business. I've been doing that for a really long time. I don't want to help with that. I don't want to help with the $1 million question and with the, make it to $1 million. I don't. And so, even though I can, and I can show you how to drive the 90-day drive to make $1 million, I'm so not happy in that arena. Just don't want to talk about it anymore. So that's not my thing. Now, when someone talks to me, I probably have a couple really good resources. I'll point them to quickly, let them go do the homework, but I'm not going to spend, a lot of time doing that. I'm not going to get into balanced advice, so I am going to talk about promotion. One of the most important things that I'm going to teach you how to do, whether it's public speaking, writing a book, or becoming a coach, is you have to learn how to monetize this relationship. You have to learn how to get new clients, how to make yourself an expert, how to be the kind of person that someone wants to come and pay for the coaching sessions. It's just like with the public speaking. One of the things that we talk about is you can be a 15-minute speaker. Any affiliate, any ambassador can speak for 15 minutes, no matter what level you're on. If you want more than 15 minutes, you better be selling some tickets. That's the only criteria. If people are coming to hear you talk, if you learn how to promote an event, if you learn how to promote your speaking, then you have made it to that level. Now, you can be, by our definition, a terrible speaker, but if you're selling tickets, you get more time. Or you can be an amazing speaker, but you're not selling tickets. That's the criteria. You need to actually learn how to do promotion. So I'm going to talk to you guys about promotion. I'm going to talk to you about your blog and your profile and some of the things that you're going to have to do if you want to be a professional coach, how to start making money in the coaching world. It's super simple to get started, but it's actually pretty hard to do it full time. You can get a couple clients doing coaching. You can probably make $300-400 a month pretty easy within the next couple months. I show you how to start making some money pretty quick. But for you to actually go full time where you get enough people coming in where you're having to turn people away, that's a different world. That's a different level of promotion and coaching. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to, build your brand. You have 10, 12 people on your calls at first, and then you have 30 people on your call, and then you have 100 people on your call. And by the time you get to, Ray Higdon status where you got 1.2 million people on your email list, you can sell whatever you want. And you can turn people away, and you can charge whatever price tag you want. That's something else we need to talk about is you need to figure out what your price tags are. Your price is going to be different than mine, and I need to help you figure out what that is. Because I'm never going to, well, I would say never. I've said never 2 months ago, and I actually changed my mind on some stuff. So I'm going to try and never use that word anymore. Never. I'm not after the $2,000 an hour customer. I'm not after the $10,000 a week coaching guy. That's not my customer. I can coach him because I have. I've talked to multimillionaires and I've helped a lot of people in the millionaire space, helped them with a lot of things. My heart's not in it. And so you need to decide, your heart can be in it. I mean, you can charge $1,000 an hour. Eventually you want to get to the point where you're making so much money, you're only coaching one person a week, you're spending an hour or two, and the rest of your life you do what you want to do with it. I can't do it. I can't charge $1,000 an hour, even though there are people out there charging more and giving less. That's not my customer. And I know that, and my heart's not in it, and I just can't do that. So that's the part about promotion. I'm going to send all of you guys a link, the top 100 crowd and everybody on the ambassador level. You guys are going to get a link to this video, the first 2 training videos that I did with Carrie and Mary Ellen, and then a list of the outline for tonight. And I'm planning, notice I use the word planning instead of saying I'm going to do. I'm planning on doing 1 coaching session a week for the next 4 weeks to get the foundation of the coaching program up and running. And I'd love to see a lot of the new top 100 people incentivized by the coaching program to upgrade to ambassador level. That's, we have, like I said in the last night's call, we have 76 people on the top 100 crowd, and only 15 people are engaged at all on the ambassador level, and only 5 or 6 of those are doing any promotions at all. So hopefully doing a daily training and doing this on a regular basis, giving you guys some reason to upgrade and helping other people see the incentives on upgrading and being a coach will get you guys in. So if you guys have any questions at all, BillieBert.com/blog is where you're going to set a time to talk to me. All of you guys who are ambassador above, you need to be talking to me at least once a week. Set an appointment. Let's chat, and let's get your coaching career up and running. All right, so we have 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Any questions before we have to close this call out?
Bill, do we need to make another fan page or something for the coaching? Like I have a Retire, Celebrate Life, and I've kind of stuck that with my blog and everything else. Do I need to find something different?
No, you don't. Knowing your brand, now I might say that to somebody else, but knowing your brand and Carrie's and Sarah's and BJ's, and I've seen your blogs, none of you guys have to actually have a different one.
Okay.
Because your story goes right along with that whole helping other people find and fulfill their dream. So whether you're coaching, writing, speaking on stage, all that stuff, even network marketing, if you have that kind of story, you can weave in one of it's like the grocery store, depends on what aisle they're in your life. You're in the Sarah Halstead coaching aisle right now.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt. Now, if you suddenly had we were talking earlier, a leather making business, I do leather goods. You should not be doing leather making business on your Celebrate Life site. It doesn't fit. It's not a fit.
Right.
It's
That's
like,
why I have a special one for RL Event Productions. Totally different.
yeah, deep fried hot dogs at Earth Fair. You know, not a good fit.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? I guess not. I love this stuff. I just love coaching coaches. Just so much fun. All right, guys. I'll see you.
I love it too, Bill. This is what puts my feet on the floor every morning. It makes me giggled and juiced.
So tomorrow we're probably doing book club. I'll know by tomorrow afternoon. We're definitely going to use Zoom instead of Google Hangouts. Officially, I hate Google Hangouts. Not using it. I'm just done with that. I'm not even going to try. This one seems to work great. You guys all like this platform? All right, and I see some chat questions. Thank you, Bill. Grocery aisle, ditto. Okay, no questions, just comments. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.